the Nutrimedical report for the 17th of July 2015, and Michelle's here with lots of announcements. Go ahead, Michelle.
Whoa, that was quick. Hi, great to be here today. We're all wired up, I'd say. Hey, Bill?
Yes,
the last
indeed.
2 days, I don't know. I usually have to get 8 hours sleep. I think I'm getting like 4 or 5. I'm so excited over this carrot bars thing, aren't I, Bill?
Yes, I think what we do is you create a team, though. I don't think you have to do it all yourself. You have your upline, Pete Fedig, and
Ted.
And Ted Anderson from GCN, etc. So it's pretty straightforward. Basically, it's a savings account for gold and fractional gold pieces, but also gives you a network where you can make cash. And of course, the plans are later in this year you'll actually have a card that you can actually fractionally transfer gold, which can't be devalued, and what's called carrot bar cash. So it is an amazing business. It's going to help you out there to have a great business. And actually, if you get on a downline, we're going to help build it for you as well.
Don't talk about what's going to come later on this year. Let's talk about what's here right now, the carrot bar. So the carrot bar is the fact that not only do you say it better than me, how you get to get the gold, to purchase the gold, but you also collect money, real money in a credit card, in a MasterCard, as you're growing your business. So you have gold, so it's a win-win. You're saving, you're getting money in your MasterCard.
In a sense, you're not spending anything because you're actually saving in a non-deflatable means of exchange. For example, and I like the analogy Pete used yesterday, 1 gram of gold, which is 1/30th of an ounce, would buy 20 loaves of bread in 1922, and $1 back then would buy you 20 loaves of bread. $1 now will buy you 1/3 of a loaf of bread, but 1 gram of gold will still buy you 20 loaves of bread.
Isn't that cool?
Right. So in other words, it's a non-inflatable currency, and it's not going to be brought down by like the euro with Greece, because they give them some more money, but it's only going to, it's like giving, as I say, when I worked in the trauma unit, extra units of blood to someone who still you haven't stopped all their bleeding from gunshot wounds. You're just going to waste a lot of blood and put a lot of red stuff on the floor.
Well, I must also, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Janet from Georgia for bringing it to my attention way back in January. God bless her for that, and everyone's prayers go out for Janet, that her business grows and that she's successful. I would love for everyone to pray for Janet, because if it wasn't for Janet, I don't know if I'd hear about carrot bars. And then I'd also like to mention Ken from Georgia, because Ken from Georgia is right in there at the get-go. And Ken's actually a friend of ours as well, because we met him on the cruise, the Nutrimedical cruise, hey, Bill? So he's special in our hearts and all that. But anyways, Ken is working on one side of our legs. I'm trying to work on the other side, legs. All these terminologies. No, I'm not a big multi-level person, like the thing, and I know it's not a multi-level because
actually it's technically not an MLM, because you can register and just buy gold. You don't have to join it. But
that's
if you get
if
you get in the dual system, you actually benefit by getting downline, and the points accumulate to infinity, which means, an example, if you sponsor one person at the bronze level, which means they buy a package for $135, and they buy 1 gram of gold, which is about $55 per month, and everybody that they sponsor one person who also buys 1 gram every month thereafter. At the end of 1 year, you'll be making $18,000 a month.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Now I know.
So I mean,
that's just math, and it's true. I mean, it is true, but I don't want to get too hyped, because it's not my personality to get too hyped.
Here's what I expect to happen. There's going to be a massive devaluation in the currencies. All the experts that I've interviewed or I've read about expect a devaluation of the currency by October this year. So we've had, Lowell Ponte on the program, Don't Bank on It. His book, co-written by Craig Smith, is also a billionaire. And the fact is that the regular currencies, doesn't matter what it is, the dollar is following less fast than other currencies, but all paper currencies on Earth are going to be devalued. All of them. Doesn't matter. Right now, for example, the ruble was devalued more than 50% since last year. The yuan is now in trouble. The stock market in China dropped 35% in the last month. So what's going to happen is anything other than gold. So people in China and in India have been buying gold like crazy, but the problem is if you buy all gold to silver coin, which we have lots of, it's not as exchangeable as a fractional currency where you get a gram, 2 grams, 5 grams in bars, or larger amounts. And they're going to have also, as I say, I should mention this, they're going to have where you can actually transfer it electronically, fraction amounts of gold, or have gold currency, which actually has gold in the money and the notes itself. So in other words, what's happening is you're going to have a fractional standard of money that can't devalue.
Now, I have a question that Ruben from Arizona brought to my attention this morning, and he said that you're going to pay more for your gram of gold than you would if you got, say, a bar of, a large bar.
Yeah, but it's not exchangeable. You're talking about a different kind of instrument. For example, if you get a carat bar, you can exchange that right now. And the other thing is when you have carat currency, which is coming up to in a few months, and carat notes, which are actual physical notes that look like a dollar bill but actually has gold in it, it's not the same. You're dealing with a system not only of building a network of saving, because that's what it is. It's a gold saving network.
And Ruben, remember, you get paid cash yourself for every sale. So not only do you get the gold, so it works out you're getting cash in your account.
Right, as you sponsor other people to start. And the thing is, everybody should save. The average person, if 50% of Americans have less than $10,000 left for retirement, right, and that's not enough. The average person that goes bankrupt just needs $400 more a month, and they will not go bankrupt. So if you have a job, right, and of course there is inflation going on. I mean, they get smaller packages sizes in the grocery store. It costs more for this and that. Inflation is being hidden. But the fact is it's going to take off. Janet Yellen just announced yesterday she's going to start raising the interest rates. She's also said the only way they can do that is they get rid of physical cash, which means it'll all be electronic divots, so they don't even need to print the money because it costs them too much money to print it. They're going to print electronic money, which means is they're going to inflate their debt away. And when they inflate their debt away, they also inflate
electronic money.
You print electronic money by just going click, click, and it created in the ledger on your computer. And what that means is that any money or assets you have, they're going to deflate, which means you're going to lose value. So if you don't have a currency saving in gold, you're going to lose. Now, I do recommend gold and silver coins, but I think the better thing is carat bars because it's so superior because you get a fraction of gold, which is exchangeable. You get money in your bank account, and you actually build a business where you actually recommend other people save. So it's got so many positive things for it. And it also, as I mentioned before with Pete yesterday, it'll be the standard for, I'm working with Professor McCanny on this, a electronic bartering currency, so you can barter using the carat bar currency as your world standard.
Okay, let me be practical. So we're getting a lot of phone calls. I just forwarded my phone yesterday for the last couple hours. Wow, it's I'm writing down names. What for you out there that's listening and thinking, how can I get involved in this? What do I do? Well, first of all, you can go to our website, and under a Nutrimedical Associate, you can click on and you can register and you can purchase a package, and all this stuff is good. Don't worry that right now we're in the setting it up phase, and people are saying, oh my gosh, I want to get in at the top. You will get in at the top because I've already started to make a list for the people that called yesterday and said they want to get on, which we will get back to you first next week, Monday, Tuesday. We'll get back to you chronologically as you have called in. You call the Nutrimedical line, the 888-212-8871, or email. I'm also taking emails, and we're chronologically, as I'm getting them, I'm putting them in a stack, and that's how we'll call the people back according to when they've called and said that they want to get on. They're interested in joining. And when you join usually with you buy a package, or you can just buy the gold, like Bill said. That's why it makes us not a multi-level. You can just go in and buy a gram of gold, a card yourself, and you can.
You can just save that way because it's going to be exchangeable. You can just do it that way
if you want.
Yeah, and also,
and of course, there's no commitment. You can buy it once a year, or you can buy it once every month.
Or have an auto thing,
Or whatever you
We'll
want.
set up auto for ourselves.
Whatever they want.
Well, here's the other thing. There's 3 steps. And so when you contact Michelle or one of the people that are downline, they'll help you, like Ken.
Ken's on one side, and I'm on the other side.
Yeah, there's 3 steps.
So
the first step is registration. Then you select a package. Bronze package gives you 5%. Silver, 10. Gold, 15%. And VIP, 20% of your downline. And then you put in your know your customer, which your basically your driver's license or a bill like a power bill or a cable bill to prove you're a real person. And that's it. You're done. And then you don't have to buy anything. It's recommended you do have a savings every month to buy it. And I'm trying to catch up my emails. I've had so many email consult requests. I apologize to people that they haven't got a response yet. And when I'm in the chamber, or any literally moment I can get anywhere, I'm answering emails and phone calls back all over the planet. It's
Well,
busy.
guess what? We've got a whole bunch here today, so let's get back to normal and talk about, let's read all the emails from here. Look, Bill, big one today.
I think you'll have to jump and
So-
read down to the real key points because some of them give us a story. Let's put it that way.
Well, we'll start with David. You're trying to tell me to be brief.
Yeah.
David in an email, greetings, Dr. Bill DEAGLE. I'm a big fan. I listen to you daily. Anyways, my question is this. My girlfriend has had multiple sclerosis for about 20. Bill?
Yeah, go ahead.
He's drinking sparkling water. I know everybody can hear
It's good. It
this.
stops me from coughing. How's that? Sparkling water is good when you
know
talk
what?
too much.
The radio station has commercials for that, so that you can pour your sparkling
Soda
water.
stream water. There you go. Go ahead. It's got no sugar in it at all.
My girlfriend has had multiple sclerosis for about, I said that right. Have you any knowledge on cures for this condition? She has been told today that she has 2 new lesions.
Yeah, they'll show bright lesions on a T1 weighted MRI scan.
He said she's upset and you can't find much help.
Okay, let me explain what MS is. MS is a what's called para-autoimmune disease. You have a pathogen, which is Lyme or Lyme-like parasites, intracellular, and they get into ventricles of the brain and they induce the oligodendrocytes, which have a sequence of amino acids in the oligodendrocyte sheath, the myelin sheath, that look identical to the outside protein sequence of Lyme disease. So basically, MS is Lyme disease. And what happens is it creates an autoimmunity. It depends on the genetics of the person. So people in North Europe, especially with low vitamin D levels, are more prone because their immune system is more likely when you have low vitamin D to actually cause it. So that's why you see a latitude. Now, the first thing you do is you do 3 things. You kill off the pathogen, right? You turn off the cytokines, which is the inflammatory molecules that are activating the T killer cells, and then you remyelinate the nerve fibers. So our protocol involves antipathogenics, which we have an MS protocol on the website, and if they contact me, we have things that will turn off the free radicals. You have both singlet oxygen with carnosine, cell detox glutathione, Nutritrel, and Regenerex. And you have things that turn off the, you need to also block free iron and kill the viruses, so we have Nutriodine, high-dose Nutriodine, Allicin Med, and Silver 100. And high-dose Power C and Fovitamin K2, along with Allergon, which we're relabeling histamine cytokinase, because you got to get rid of the cytokines. And when you get rid of the cytokines, you can't have more inflammatory reaction, and the T killer cells are turned off. And you kill the pathogens. Now you remyelinate with Neurogen, which is docosahexaenoic acid, and Nutrifos, and Omega Supreme Krill, Minerals Plus, and Copper Regenemax. You have to have copper to regenerate any solid organ, including the brain and myelin.
So it's complicated, but it works.
It works. It works, and you can also use other things for that, like transcranial lumen photon is very good for the brain for regeneration, and micropulse.
Laura from Arizona. Hi, Dr. Bill and Michelle. I have been listening to your program for many years. I know that, Laura. You've been a customer for many years, too. Getting to know everybody, where they're from.
Right.
But lately, I've not been able to listen to your GCN show on her Android smartphone. I can still
We have an
listen.
Android app. It may be an Android app update on GCN. All she has to do is go to GCN and get the updated Android app.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
if they go through our link there, or just go to gcnlive.com, she can update the Android app, because we have universal listening, and it's all free. You don't have to buy membership. We have Android apps. We have iPhone apps. Yeah, there's a Listen Live phone number, which we've updated because we have a new Listen Live company. And the podcasts are all free, as well as the MP3s. You can download them. We're going to start downloading here the last year on Nutrimedical, and we're going to cross-index. So by topic, you can go to our GCN, or you can go to our Nutrimedical site, and you'll be able to see specific shows there. And
Okay. Maureen from her iPad in Texas. Hello, Dr. DEAGLE. My neurologist has ordered a CT scan of my head because of the odd symptoms I've been experiencing. He thinks it may be a form of Tourette's. I also have essential tremors and a history of dystonia.
Yeah, that means she has what's called extrapyramidal neurological degeneration, and it's a thing called the subthalamic nucleus that causes Tourette syndrome. And basically, it's a seizure disorder in a extrapyramidal area that's connected to your motor nuclei in your brain.
She goes on to say that he mentioned a drug, but she doesn't want to take a drug. And she said she thought she heard you say in a program that CT scans were dangerous, and the thought of X-rays bombarding my brain is scary to me. No, CTs are fine.
Well, there's a lot of radiation
Once in a
involved in
while,
the CT scan. I don't recommend, to be honest with you, CT. I recommend an MRI scan. And if you do a proper T1 weighted MRI scan, you can actually see the areas of subthalamic nuclei. You can also do what's called a SPECT blood flow scan to look at blood flow in the base of the brain, because it's basically abnormal physiology in the basal nuclei of the brain that causes Tourette syndrome or extrapyramidal symptoms, or EPS they call it.
But sometimes you have to do a CT.
Usually you do a CT scan if you think it's a tumor, and then you want to do within 48 hours a positron emission tomographic scan, because it lights up on the PET scan. It means it's a benign or malignant tumor, like a meningioma or something nasty like multicentric astroglioma.
Jason, in an email, I've had a skin problem for 18 years that I can't seem to get rid of. The dermatologist I went to back when it started said it was psoriasis. I have over the years really cleaned up my diet and taken a ton of supplements. He's 37 years old, 6 foot, just 6 feet and 145 pounds. He's always skinny. He said he can't gain weight no matter what he does. He said that's another issue he needs help with. He goes on to say he has, what's that? What is that?
Anal pruritus.
And the skin all around the area. Occasional, anyways, I don't want to read about that. I'll go down to this part. that's, oh God. Anyways, he's given up gluten, he's given up, alcohol and sugar, and he's still in bad shape.
Okay, the first thing is, number one, psoriasis is caused by the dermacentor mite. It's a mite, and it's a microscopic organism. And in the mouth of the microscopic organism, there's several dozen different pathogens. Those pathogens actually trigger off what's called an autoimmune reaction in the prickle cell layer of your skin, releasing interleukin 27. And that causes a thing called a Koebner's phenomenon. So when you get it, you get a release of these cytokines, and then the cytokines cause you to get what's called a scaling, that they call a psoriatic scaling reaction, or Koebner's reaction. It basically is a mite infection. So what you want to do is you want to bathe with the MT12 oils, and you want to put Nutrimedical on all the lesions 3 to 4 times a day. That's number one. You can also spray it with Silver 100 and put curcumin cream on all the lesions as well afterwards. Orally, you want to take antipathogenics, Nutrimedical, Allicin Med, Silver 100, and NutriDefense, extremely important, NutriDefense. You're trying to kill off the mites, and you want to regenerate the skin. You want to use things that will regenerate skin. Collagen Max, Mountain Red Velvet, Nutrifos, Neurogen, Minerals Plus, and Copper Regenamax. And you want to find out what you're allergic to. It's very possible that he also has allergies too, especially with the anal pruritus. Most likely he's got a chronic dysbiosis of his gut, so if he does a directlabs.com CDSA2 test, and also an IgG test for food allergies, they'll determine if he has a delayed type hypersensitivity. You eliminate the foods that are IgG positive. You kill off the pathogens with the antipathogenics, and recolonize with Living Probiotic and Living Probiotic Ultra. You heal the gut wall with Gastro Heal, and of course the Ageless, which has Nutriimmune capsules, the immunoglobulins, and the pruritus will go away when you get rid of the dysbiosis, and the psoriasis will settle when you kill off the mites and the parasites and the pathogens, and the skin will regenerate.
He also says he follows Leviticus 11 strictly and will not use products that aren't biblically clean. I think we have mainly velvet.
And welcome back, Michelle. I'm sure you have some more questions. Some of them are pretty complex and they require a little bit of thought and work, but that gives you the basic framework.
We kind of went off the air there for a little bit, but you were mentioning that all of our capsules are veggie caps. And I think
we
he was
basically
concerned because he was talking about Leviticus 11, and you're okay, Jason.
Well, in fact, that's one of the reasons why, for example, our protein and our life support Ageless, etc., is all rice pea protein.
Yeah.
Which
Bill, next
is even better than whey, to be honest with you. More complete amino acids and no chance of
nothing
allergens.
tastes as good as our life support and Ageless. Nothing. And Glycemic.
So I can throw
that in now.
Well, I have my drink right here. This is my super drink. You
I've had mine long time.
You want to know what's in it?
No.
It's a list.
No, because I know we'll be here for an hour. Look at all these questions I have.
Okay, go ahead. I'll tell them an hour or two. How's that?
Yeah, tell them an hour or two. Mike from his iPhone in Minnesota. Hello again, Dr. Bill. I'm a machinist, 35 years old, and consider myself in very good health. He's currently taken, so there's a whole list of our supplements that he takes. So my goodness.
Right.
Omega cod liver, boy, I love that one too.
Right.
Anyways, I won't read all that. Also, he's already taking Vitamineral Max, and he just ordered the Minerals Plus. What would be a good amount to take, considering he already has, the Vitamineral Max? How many would you take of the
One
minerals?
twice a day.
Or just one?
One twice a day.
Okay. What for a woman? One. That's what I.
One twice a day for an adult, male or female.
I take one.
You're going to be okay.
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
But
you're also taking
everything else.
You're also taking well, no, there's some extra minerals, and the Minerals Plus is extra amounts for bioconversion of neurotransmitters, blood insulin resistance, and your immune system. So it has some extra amounts. The Vitamin Mineral Max is a core. You should take twice a day, one. And the Minerals Plus, let's say 1 to 2, okay?
Also, I'm very concerned about the geoengineering aerosols that we are subjected to. What would be 1 or 2 key products, hey, I like that, to help detox this?
Well, you want to take Keeler Max and our ultra liquid zeolite, and the third one is Samethyl, acetylmethionine.
What's the first 2 again?
Keeler Max, ultra liquid zeolite.
Okay.
Keeler Max, 2 to 3 capsules twice a day.
And zeolite.
Ultra zeolite, 13 drops 3 times a day, and the third is Samethyl.
Samethyl's too expensive, Billy.
It's the most powerful, though.
But he's on a
In
budget.
terms of pulling heavy metals, there's nothing more powerful than Samethyl.
Can you just say 1 then?
Samethyl.
Okay.
That's the number 1. The next one would be Keeler Max, and the third would be ultra zeolite.
Okay.
Samethyl is the most powerful because you see it penetrates through the tissues. Keeler Max is going to work mainly in the GI tract. It will work outside, so which is far superior to bentonite clay, which I would never recommend because it can cause bowel obstruction. Ultra zeolite will also go through your bloodstream, but the most powerful for grabbing heavy metals and pulling it out of your body is acetylmethionine. And we have the SS isomer under nitrogen. It's a 77% highest concentration of the right optical isomer, and it'll yank through. It has also 600 milligrams of trimethylglycine.
He goes on to say, I thank God that he has gifted you with such knowledge. Stay strong. Thanks, your brother in Christ, Mike. That's sweet.
Big brother. I'm your big brother. How's that?
I like to read those.
God gave me these talents to protect my little brothers and sisters in Christ.
Next, Eric from Illinois. This is lengthy. You're not going to want me to read too much of this, but Eric, I'll try to get the important parts in here. First, thanks to you and Michelle once again for your wonderful work. Hey, that's important. Got that on. I have corresponded with you before in purchasing products. Oh, this is. He says he's been diagnosed several years ago with congestive heart failure due to left branch bundle block. He said, I also had a CT that showed a very high calcium score.
Yeah, well, you don't have to reverse that.
But completely clear arteries. Unfortunately, I was diagnosed and put on a regimen of pharmaceuticals before I even knew about you. I also have type 2 diabetes and work with computers, so I'm constantly bathed with Wi-Fi and EM all day.
Yeah. Well, the first thing is the primary complication of diabetes, if you have moderate to severe hypertension, is congestive heart failure. So you got to get pressure under control. And what blood pressure is your heart trying to compensate for poor circulation. So if you lower your blood pressure and don't improve perfusion, you can actually reduce perfusion to your brain and kidneys and go into kidney failure and become demented.
Here's all the drugs that he's on.
Yeah, that's not good. He's on carvedilol, ramipril, spironolactone, furosemide, and metformin. Yeah. And I could go through all the side effects of each of those.
But listen, this is the most important part.
Some of them are, yeah.
May I read this, Bill? His most important part of his whole question here. And I know you're
Go
probably
ahead.
listening, Eric, and you're thinking, why isn't she reading the most important part of my question?
Go ahead.
Here? For about the last year, I have been increasingly suffering from what one cardiologist called extra heartbeats. I believe this is arrhythmia.
Right.
And I call them heart cramps. He said that I may need ablation therapy, which I refuse to do.
But you know, the FDA doesn't even approve it. It has not certified ablation therapy. And the FDA are called fatal drugs allowed, so even they won't certify it. And
Wow.
I remember an ablation cardiologist was in our office in 97 in the Swedish Hospital Medical Center, Dr. Roger Damley. And these guys are doing something, to be honest with you, that's stupid. Because what you have to do is decalcify what's called Lennox sclerosis of the conduction bundles that's caused by extra calcium. So the first thing you want to do is take Gamma A+, 2 soft gels twice a day, Cardiovasc, magnesium glycinate malate 2 to 1, and magnesium taurate. Let's say 4 to 6 magnesium glycinate malate. You want to take Omega cod liver liquid, Omega Supreme, krill, and the Omega Supreme. And then what you have to do is get high dose Power C and full vitamin K2. And we're talking about high dose. 6 capsules 3 times a day of Power C, and at least 2 capsules of the full vitamin K2 3 times a day. And it will reverse the calcium score of your coronary artery. So you do a high-speed CT scan, and it'll show the calcium score reverse over the next 6 months to a year. You try to avoid, and you try to give super high levels of magnesium, what's called brain mag, as well as magnesium glycinate malate and magnesium taurate. And when you get those high levels over the next 6 months to a year, not only did the calcium score go, we add forskolin, or Coleus forskolii, 1 3 times a day to 2 3 times a day. And the arrhythmia will disappear when your magnesium level goes up. You protect your ion channels with the tocotrienols and gamma-tocopherol. And you get rid of the free radicals, and you support the mitochondria with vascular care, CoQ10 ubiquinol, CoQ10 uridine,
Yeah.
and mitochondrial catalyst. And guess what? Once
Yeah.
your mitochondria are working, once you reduce the insulin resistance in the tissue, once your vessels are actually pumping and perfusing the tissue because it's a secondary wave that moves your blood, your heart failure will go away, and your arrhythmia will disappear, and you don't need ablation.
He says, my heartbeat has begun to be very erratic, constantly changing speed and strength, almost spasmodic. Now let me read the
Yeah.
next sentence.
Yeah.
I cannot on a regular basis purchase more than a few products, so I need to know what bare basics.
Well, bare basics aren't going to get him well, to be honest with you. The problem is he's going to have to take the protocol that I recommended because he's in basically what I call extremis. So if he takes a few things, and I'll tell you the absolute core things you should take: cardiovasc, gamma A plus, and magnesium glycinate. Those are the core. And he has complex problems that have to deal with the insulin resistance, diabetes, and his mitochondrial function. Most important for the mitochondrial function is vascular care and CoQ10 ubiquinol.
He wants to get off with this. Well, I'll give you the email.
Yeah, there's some drugs that I wouldn't stop. If I look at that list there, you don't want to stop the carvedilol. That's actually pretty good, but you want low dosage like 6.25. Ramipril, you don't want to be on Ramipril. You want to be an ACE receptor blocker, not an ACE inhibitor. Spironolactone, you can watch out. It can get in real trouble with potassium, elevated potassium levels. And he's on furosemide, but I don't see him taking a potassium tablet like 8 or 10 milliequivalents. And he's on metformin, which can cause diarrhea, mental clouding, and visual effects. So some people like metformin. I don't like it. And other diabetic drugs, I've seen people start taking them like glipizide, and all of a sudden they get neuropathy, and they're saying, my feet are numb now. It's 3 weeks or 6 weeks into taking glipizide. Most diabetic drugs will screw you up because they don't lower glucagon, which makes your liver make cholesterol, make sugar from protein, and your kidneys. So you have to lower blood insulin as well as blood sugar as well as blood glucagon. If you don't lower all three, you're getting in trouble.
Okay, next is Linda from Hawaii, but I think we're going into a commercial break. And
you got another 30 seconds. Go ahead. I'm zippy. I could read it off.
No, I think we better wait.
Okay, it's too long, right?
Yeah, it's long and it's serious, and I don't want to just ramble.
We'll be back in a moment, and Michelle is going to read. Right ahead.
Well, we left off with Linda. Remember Linda from Hawaii? Aloha, Dr. DEAGLE. I am writing on behalf of my husband, who has been diagnosed with dementia and early onset Alzheimer's. He is 62 years old and is currently taking 10 milligrams of Namenta?
Namenda, yeah.
And
Donepezil.
10 milligrams.
Which is Aricept, yeah.
He's been taking this for over a year now, and I've been in search of anything to help with his cognition and short-term memory. I am a newly retired nurse and feel at my wit's end. I have tried numerous alternative supplements with no change noted. I do understand that the prognosis is dreadful for such a young, healthy man. Do you have anything that you would suggest to help us?
Yeah, let's start off with the core thing, Cognition Plus and Brain Power. 2 Cognition Plus twice a day, 1 Brain Power twice a day. Also, you can increase myelination of the nerve fiber tracts with Nutrifos and Neurogen, 2 Nutrifos twice a day, 2 Neurogen twice a day, and anti-inflammatory cell detox glutathione, which helps the brain tremendously, 2 capsules twice a day. You can make a smoothie of it. And I also recommend Omega Supreme Krill, 2 capsules twice a day, and that'll help them to heal and remyelinate those nerve fiber tracts. Usually what happens in dementia, you get neurotransmitter deficiencies, which you can correct with bio-LVR. It helps tremendously, and you can stop the dementia with the Cognition Plus and the Brain Power. If it continues to progress, we can add additional therapies to help improve, but there's specific tests I can tell them to actually identify what's the problem.
We know from other testimonies, Linda, if you're listening, from other people that have used the protocol, the Cognition Plus and the Brain Power and the Omega. I know we know that it's helped significantly. So
it doesn't just help. We can actually see the 3 things that are going on. Number 1, most people that have dementia have a breakdown of the blood-brain barrier, and they may have a stealth pathogen like a vaccine they had as a child. Cornell University found 28% of the people that have dementia grow viruses from their childhood vaccines in their brain tissue.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Right. So that's why when they're pushing vaccines here in California, these people need to be shot.
Okay, Bill.
Yeah.
Next
Not
is
just
Paul.
with a vaccine, shot with something much heavier called lead.
Paul in an email. I ordered product from you off and on. I have ordered off and on for several years now. That's funny. He says that. I didn't see you in the customer. It must have been many, many moons ago. But he says, what products do you recommend for a facial spasm called?
Fasciculation syndrome, yeah. Basically, it's, again, an extrapyramidal syndrome from the basal nuclei of the brain, usually what's called the subthalamic motor nuclei. And what you do there is you increase brain mag, 2 scoops 2 to 3 times a day, number one. Cognition plus and brain power to protect oxidative stress, cell detox glutathione, and you want to remyelinate the nerve fiber tracts because you're getting a lack of inhibition. So the combination of brain mag and calm mind will help to calm those nuclei down. We can add additional things to the protocol, but the main things are things like Cognition Plus, brain power, and cell detox glutathione, and trying to optimize the magnesium like brain mag, which is at least 2 scoops 3 times a day with calm mind, will help to reduce the fasciculations and help to heal those neurofiber tracts.
Bart, in an email, it's a pleasure, refreshing, and informative to listen to you. Thanks. My father, or my cousin, just had a stroke.
Right.
He has
Atherosclerosis, yeah.
And a vessel to his brain closed. Is there anything to help with
Yeah,
that?
well, first off, yes. The first thing you want to do, if you already have a physical blockage, you want to be on nattokinase at least 2 capsules 3 times a day, and lumbrokinase 1 3 times a day.
Yes. Yeah.
Additionally, you want to stop atherogenesis, ellagic acid 2 capsules 3 times a day, omega supreme krill 2 soft gels 3 times a day, and you want to heal the vessel walls, so you want to use some things to kind of increase what's called tetrahydrobiopterin. So you want to take bio-LVR, semethyl, pyromethyl B12, and superfolate, and Supernox to open up the blood vessel walls and increase nitric oxide production. So the Supernox and high nitrate diet, which is beet juice, you can mix up with the Supernox tablets. You take 2 3 times a day at least, and that'll open up his vessels, and you can reverse the calcification with high dose fulvitamin K2 and Power C+. And when you do that, you'll reverse the calcium score of the arteries.
Hey, our friend Tom, who's just dropped a quick email here on July the 10th. Hi, Michelle. Hope you got the joke. Remember his funny joke, Bill? We did. Everybody loved it, Tom. Just listening to you and Bill. He's listening all the way over in Scotland, Bill. You both are great on the air, and it's really refreshing to hear a real couple who have love and respect for each other. Oh, who's that? You and me? And that's so good to hear.
Let's put it this way. The glue that keeps a marriage strong always starts with G-O-D.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't.
No question.
As I say, that's the glue that makes a marriage and a family and a nation strong.
Yeah.
And when you remove the G-O-D, the God from the glue that keeps civilization strong, which we have a glue master in the White House removing the glue of the nation with his crazy operations of destroying and deconstructing society in the Supreme Court, then you no longer, if you remove God from the schools, God from the courts, God from the legislature, and God from relationships, you have a godless society that'll fall apart.
He goes, basically what Tom wants to know, Bill, is what's the status on the ozone? So that he wants to
the ozone machines.
Ozone
the ozone machines. I'll be posting up this weekend. We have them. They'll be here.
We do.
Yeah, and they're an excellent machine, and you set them up on a timer, and they'll generate lots of ozone for you, either for say your hyperbaric chamber for ozonated water. You can even go online and get say at Amazon or one of these places. You can get a enema thing if you want to do ozonated enemas, which I recommend you use magnesium 1 to 10 solution of the magnesium oil in filtered water, along with Nutridyne, and ozonate the water. And then when you can do that, or you can drink ozonated water, which will help to detox your body along with Nutridyne. I recommend Nutridyne and ozonated water is excellent for detox.
Cheryl, in an email. Dear Dr. DEAGLE, you helped my daughter about 3 years ago with colitis. But now my other daughter has Epstein-Barr. The hospital wants to give her antibiotics, but I wanted to check with you first before I give her anything that the hospital wants to give her.
Well, the hospital is completely insane. It's like going to the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. It's a virus, and these are Epstein-Barr virus. Usually is what I call pathogen soup. There's not just one.
What is Epstein-Barr? What is that?
It's a virus, and the virus can be intracellular. So that
what are the symptoms of that?
The symptoms are chronic fatigue, depression, muscle myopathies or fibromyalgia, extreme, maldigestion, all kinds of things going on, visual disturbances.
Serious.
Yeah, and the problem is you use an antiviral. The drugs that the doctors have, like ribavirin and antivirals, are number one, extremely expensive and extremely toxic. So you don't want to take them. Our Nutridyne, Allicin and Silver 100 will kill these viruses off very quickly. Then you want to repair to stop the cytokines with our histamine cytokinase, which we called Allergon, high dose Power C, and full vitamin K2, cell detox, glutathione, Regenerex, Nutritrala, and when you get rid of the free radicals and when you remyelinate the nerve fiber tracts, because what you get is upregulation of the glial cells in the brain, the microglia, and it causes brain inflammation. So they get BOF, or brain on fire, and you can turn off the brain on fire, and you restore the neurotransmitters, and their fatigue goes away, their mitochondria start to work again, the virus is gone, and the cytokine levels drop in their blood.
Okay. Leedy from North Carolina, she's asking about psoriasis. We've already covered that today. And then next is Tony, and basically he wants to know if he just bought diabetoline, and he wants to know if he should take them the capsules on an empty stomach or with meals.
Take them just right before you have your meal. 2 capsules twice a day at least.
Jan from Arizona, I have endometrial cancer. I had surgery. Oh, that's a serious one. And 3 rounds of carboplankton and Taxol chemotherapy.
Taxol, yeah.
Next, they want me to start radiation treatment. And she wants to know what you think of having radiation. Radiation
makes a tumor 30 times plus more resistant to radiation. It develops new resistance to the previous chemotherapy. So you actually create resistant cells, and when they come back, it'll be more aggressive and can't be treated with your previous treatment. Okay. So I recommend everyone take our full cancer protocol of nutraceuticals. I additionally would recommend that they go to the Eisels Clinic for gene-based cancer therapy, which is the one in Santa Barbara with Dr. Eisels, and Coley's vaccine and dendritic vaccine to make their immune cells go after the tumor, but never paint-by-numbers chemo, and never, ever radiation or proton therapy. It's dangerous, it damages surrounding tissues. Radiation's bad.
Okay, we didn't get through all the questions today, but you did really, really well, Bill. Those complicated, very complicated.
Would I pass the board exam, do you think?
With flying colors.
The functional medicine board exam, which we do every hour.
Some funny noise in the background. Anyways, God bless you. Everyone, have a wonderful weekend. Look at the carrot bars. Go in business with Nutrimedical. We're still a great big family out here. And one day we'll all meet each other in heaven. Hey, Bill.
Exactly, yeah.
God bless you. We love you. Bye-bye.
Back in just a minute. I'm not God. I'm just
I know.
2 more hours.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about you.
Yeah.
You count. You are.
Hour number 3, we're going to have Ann with lots of news, and we've got lots of things to discuss in hour 4.